And welcome everybody to Kentucky Speedway here in Sparta, Kentucky for the MartinPC.com 200, round number 2 of Season 8 in the Blazer Sim Racing Grid Network Truck Series. I'm Joshua Coppernoll. I'm joined by Olivia Hayward. Olivia, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I kind of wish this race was a 300 given where we're racing, but I'm looking forward to it. Going to be our first sort of standard oval on the season. We had a great show last week with Alex Kerfen taking the win over at Daytona, and now we get to settle into a quick rhythm before a little bit of an early season break, and this can set the tone for your momentum as you come back after these next couple of weeks.
Yeah, last week was a fantastic show at Daytona, you mentioned, and so Kerfan, he's not here tonight. He told us last week that he was not going to be able to make it to this race. So, you want to start off the season on the right foot. He did. But now he's going to kind of put himself into a little bit of a hole with the fact that he's not here tonight. And we've got 29 drivers showing up for this one. The playoff system, it is not a win and you're in type system. So, Alex Kerfan, he's still not guaranteed to make the playoffs. He's got a great shot for sure, but just kind of a testament to how big it really is for these points over the next several weeks. Of course, this is only round 2. There are still plenty of races till then, but I'm really interested to see kind of where he's going to end up in points after this one, but really who's going to come out on top. It's been a few seasons since we've been to Kentucky Speedway.
Yeah, of course, playoff system being that the first 2 drivers outside the top 8 who have wins available will get brought in as wildcards. And last season, with a similar system, we actually didn't end up using all those wildcard spots. So I think Kerfan's probably pretty confident, but he will be back to try and point his way in naturally. And for the rest of the field, it is a little bit of a lesser used track in iRacing, so I'm sure a lot of drivers will be less familiar and really having to learn on the fly for this one. So far in practice it is Justin Durand at the top of the board, just ahead of Walls. And so we will see how the field shakes out, and maybe if there's some additional movement of positions as these drivers get another 134 laps of experience.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned that this track really isn't used much. And so kind of learning it on the fly, and it's not just, any other kind of mile and a half either. This track, it's, think of like Texas, where it's got different banking in turns 1 and 2 than 3 and 4. This is the case here at Kentucky Speedway. From Wikipedia, take it how you will. Turns 1 and 2 are 17 degrees banking, and 3 and 4 is 14 degrees of banking. That's 3 degrees difference, which isn't much, but these setups, fixed setups, are built to try to handle them both at the same time, really, but it can still be a difficult task for the truck to handle both kind of turn sets of corners differently.
You saying these trucks don't have adjustable weight jack and anti-roll bars? That's
No.
I'm going to be learning some things on the fly then. But yeah, it's always going to be interesting, and of course, a very wide curved front stretch tri-oval, which always makes some interesting moves on the apron, as we see the number 42 there, Michael Kruger, using some of that apron in practice. We're going to see that in qualifying a lot on that run down to the line, and then we'll see who's brave enough to dip down there in the race. You lose that 10 degrees of front stretch banking, but it is going to be a shorter run, and sometimes that can be just enough of what you need to get the nose ahead into turn number 1.
And we've got 134 laps tonight. The stage break is going to be, I believe, on lap 34. New for this season, caution will not come out for the stage. So we will stay green. However, points still will be awarded for the top 10 after lap 34. That wraps things up for qualifying. It is Justin Rand up top on the board. And did I say that wraps up for qualifying? I meant that wraps up for practice. We're getting into qualifying.
I wasn't going to tell, but maybe. Yeah, similar to the Michelin Endurance Cup over in IMSA, they award points in the big race, including, of course, 6 Hour that's racing tomorrow. They award points at certain phases of the race, but they keep the field rolling. It's a little bonus thing to strive for and to try and strategize around, but we're not going to interrupt the race. We're not going to give the field a chance to bunch up and then cause some more trouble at the start of stage 2. We're going to keep it rolling. Michael Kruger is going to get rolling for the start of qualifying. We'll see if he hands fairly high on the entry of turn number 1, but he's going to cut back down. It's always interesting to see if lap 1 or lap 2 ends up being preferred here, but I think Kruger might be pushing for one right now here.
And I'll tell you, I'm actually very surprised to see Kruger be the first one to go out. Kruger, he's a driver that likes to wait, but he is going to complete his first lap here at the line. It's going to be P1 automatically. 31.580 for Kruger. William Kempf, top of the board, a 31.452. Cody Goza, 31.294. Track temp, though, it's 114. It just went up a degree, and that is in Fahrenheit.
I mean, I'm glad it's in Fahrenheit, as if it was in Celsius, we'd be having all sorts of problems. 46 in European units there. And we now have some other trucks rolling. Kruger does improve on lap number 2, in fact. Finds a 31.3, but it's still the 96 of Cody Goza leading the way in the Chevy. Sorry, in the Toyota against the Chevy. And here now we have Justin Rohr coming to start his qualifying run. Justin didn't really have the best race last week, I believe. No. Finished all the way down in 28th place, unfortunately. So looking to rebound and find some momentum here at Kentucky, where you've got a little bit more under your control compared to a race at Daytona.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a night that Rott would love to forget. And come here to Kentucky, currently P5 on the board. That's just after lap number 1. Let's see if Rott can improve any. He is using as much racetrack as he possibly can. Get so close to that wall off turn 2.
Yeah, but he did go low in turns 3 and 4. We saw Kruger go high through there on lap number 1. So that suggests maybe Rohr wasn't setting up for a second lap. He'll just see if he can find an improvement. And unfortunately, it will not be. He is going to have to stay currently on the 3rd row of the grid. It's like Travis van Oostendorp, one of the other drivers still going. Philip Scott just went 3rd fastest on his second lap. Rivers Jones moves up into 9th. And Van Oostendorp does get rolling and sets a first lap inside the top 10.
Got Knoll jumps up to 21st. Here we have Tristan Maher. And that was Tristan's up to speed lap. So this will be Tristan's first lap of qualifying.
Yeah, Tristan, of course, finishing 3rd last week at Daytona. Didn't pick any stage points, but is still in a very strong position in the championship so far. So looking to really build on that as we ride on board and actually see that new digital dash that was added in the new update just a week or 2 ago. A little bit different to what you'd be used to, much more similar to what we see in the ARCA cars as of late. And Tristan, very much a slow lap for the first attempt. We'll see if he can find anything on lap number 2, because it's currently just 25th place for the number 17 truck.
I think that was planned for Tristan. Be slow that first lap. Second lap, looks like he might be struggling a little bit in 3 and 4. We'll see. 25th is where he was. P7. Not bad for Tristan Maher.
And that'll do it for qualifying. So Cody Goza, with a really impressive run, takes the pole position here at Kentucky.
Yeah, Cody Goza making his debut here in Grid Network Truck Series. Cody did race in what was the Galaxy Cup Series way back in the day. Kind of what this Truck Series was, a Truck Series 2 in a way. So in a sense a homecoming, but different. Anyway, top of the board, P1 for Cody Goza. Michael Waltz starts P2. Third place, it's Michael Kruger. Philip Scott will start in 4th. 5th place, Cody McCorkle. Bailey Thompson in P6. Tristan Maher in 7th. Justin Raw in 8th. 9th, it's Nick Donati and Justin Durand in P10.
It is Travis Van Oostendorp who starts off the 6th row of the grid, with Ryan Bodie looking to rebound from 12th place after technical issues over at Daytona. Rivers Jones and Alonso Chicano will line up on the 7th row of the grid, with Levi Poland and William Kempf behind. Randy Payne lines up 17th, with Zach Probst alongside in P18. And then the last trucks inside the top 20, last trucks inside the 31 fours here, Duncan Four and Dawson Allen.
21st, it is Zachary Wareham. Dakota Knoll, 22nd. 23rd is Aaron Von Druska and Troy Sand in 24th. 25th, Noah Loveridge and Cameron Caldwell, 26th. 27th, it is David Arand and Jamie Wright, 28th. And shotgun on the field, P29, it is Stephen Thornton. That is our lineup for tonight. There are some penalties. Drivers that are going to the back. And it's going to be Jacob Locklear, Fidel Fabian, and David Durand. And I think David Durand's the only one here.
Yeah, which is a little bit fortunate because those drivers actually all have a one-lap hold as well to serve here. And so they won't have the stage caution to bail them out and get that lucky dog, but with no other trucks serving that penalty with him, David should be able to get back onto the lead lap at the first yellow of the race. So I'm sure he's hoping for a little bit of chaos in the early laps here.
So 134 laps. As mentioned, stage will be at lap 34. And David Durand actually starting from his pit box. I'm not sure if this will count as one lap hold or not. I would assume that he'd be able to just go as soon as these guys take the green like normal. So I'm not sure.
I think at iRacing, yeah, but I assume that per the penalty, he's going to stick there until he sees the field go by for lap number 2.
That's actually...
But it is going to be Cody Goza and Mika Walls at the front of the field here.
And they are inside the restart zone. The green flag is out. We're underway here at Kentucky.
Oh, and it's a bad launch from Goza there. Walls has the nose ahead into turn number 1. Remember, the initial start is on control of Barney the Flagman. Here you see now through turns 1 and 2, Goza starting to gain, starting to try and poke his nose ahead. And it's going to come down to who gives the best push here. Michael Kruger going to try and shove 96 into the lead into turn number 3, but the lower banking going to be tricky on that inside line. And I think Walls might be able to fight this one around. He's going to have the nose ahead, and I think he is going to lead the first lap here at Kentucky.
It was very close, but Mike Walls was able to lead the first lap. David Rand did stay in pit road. It's now rolling. Justin Rott back here battling with Bailey Thompson.
Yeah, Bailey raced here in IndyCar on a Wednesday night and made it about a lap and a half. So already for the number 27, an improvement, and actually doing a great job so far with that qualifying effort and withstanding the pressure from a very hungry Justin Roth behind.
Justin Rand, side by side with Travis Van Oostendorp. '23 is not giving up on the outside line either. Crowding Duran down. Travis Van Oostendorp. He is trying to not lose the spot to Duran, but also at the same time trying to find a way down, get into line.
Yeah, and especially with such a long run and not having that caution to punch you up after the end of stage one, it is so important to keep your tyres underneath you. And running side by side early is not the way to do that. And so, unless you really need the position to try and hold onto the cars ahead, you want to just try and get this sorted out quickly if possible. And right now, they look a little bit stranded up on the top side there, with two trucks underneath, sort of sandwiching that 23 inwards.
Oh, we're
Big move to the inside now from Jones.
Yeah.
Gets to the inside of Durand and manages to stick it. They're going to be side by side on corner exit here. And Jones, already up 3 spots, wants to try and make it 4 here.
Still side by side for Durand and Jones. Van Oostendorp, he's still stuck on the outside as well. This time it's on the outside of Justin Raw, who gets in a line between Van Oostendorp and Durand. Justin Durand finds a hole to get into, and it's pretty much single file throughout the field. So I just, want to talk about sports just for a minute that is not racing. And look at Ryan Bogey. He's got the Kentucky on the side of his truck. We got Louisville back here on Dawson Allen's truck. A couple of rival schools. Keep an eye on the battle of the colleges there between Bogey and Dawson Allen.
And whose truck was it that had a scoreline written on the truck bed?
Oh, man.
I saw someone post that in the Discord earlier this week, and
yes, it was neither one of these guys.
From one school to another.
Was it Kempf, maybe?
It was Duncan Fall.
Duncan Fall
has it on the bed of that number 16 truck from March Madness this year. Duke Blue Devil 73, Louisville Cardinals 62.
I see it just because I know where it's at on the scheme, but there is no way I'm going to get the camera to where these guys can see it.
That's the shot he's wanted to get in victory lane if he can, and
yeah.
Right now he's got 17 more spots to gain if he wants to get that photo opportunity.
With the Louisville Cardinals scheme right to his outside too. I wonder if way up the racetrack.
Dawson remembers that, and I wonder if he's going to race him any differently. As Randy Payne is going to try and make it 3 wide on the apron here, and Cameron Caldwell also poking a nose up 5 spots and wants to keep moving forward here. Biggest movers on the day it is Caldwell, and then Van Oostendorp up 4, and then we've got Tristan Maher and Nick Donati both down 5 positions, maybe saving the tyres for the end of the opening stage, or maybe just a little bit better in quali trim than they are right now in the race.
One thing that actually kind of surprised me is in not Cameron Caldwell fashion, starting in the back and seeing that 12 machine in the back. He's going to be struggling to race his way up to the front. I mean, he's almost getting put 3 wide there with the 75, Randy Payne, but oh, Payne sliding up. A little bit of contact between Payne and Caldwell. They settle in, though. All fine, but just kind of that right there. That's what I'm talking about. It's, first of all, it is super hard to pass in these trucks anyway. The dirty air is insane. And if you don't make it happen early on, it's going to be even more of a struggle, later. As you see Caldwell now underneath Dakota Knoll trying to make the pass. And Dakota Knoll, yeah, we'll just use that high line. So that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. So dirty air is very big in these trucks. And then high line. Once you start getting the tires worn, the high line is going to be king to holding off drivers trying to pass you on the bottoms. Caldwell, currently 22nd. He's got a lot of ground to make up, and it is going to be so hard to do so. Yeah.
That being said, everyone is in one group. Caldwell's only 5 seconds off your race leader, who is still walls after making that lap 1 move on Cody Dozer. They would 1-2. You've got not that much track between you and the race leader. And so once we get past this first stage and start looking towards pit lane, that is going to be the moment where you can try and make some moves happen on strategy. We're expecting about 50 laps to a fuel tank here, and so you could very much pit lap 35 as soon as stage points are said and done. And you'd be able to make it on 1 more stop from there, and you have fresh tyres to work with in a little bit of clean air potentially that would let you move your way up through the field. Now I'm sure Calder wants to get it done a little bit sooner than that. He maybe wants to pick up some of those stage points. But right now he has, they're 2 by 2 by 2 ahead of him here. It is going to be very difficult to get through that pocket of dirt yet.
Actually, the fact that Dakota Knoll got to the right rear of Zachary Wareham is kind of impressive. That's what you want to do. Caldwell's going to try to do the same thing. To the right rear of Wareham. Make the pass happen on the outside. He's there. He's got it.
Yeah, because then you've got a trapped throttle on the inside. You can't just wash up and hit them, because you'll probably just turn yourself into the wall. So you've got to be the one to lift out there, and the car on top can use all the space they have remaining. So side by side, a little bit further up than before, going for the move 17th place. And Donati continues to fall down the order, now down 9 spots from the 9th place starting position. And under pressure from Randy Payne as well on the inside.
Well, they got close. And Dakota Knoll wanted to go to that high side, take him 3. Peek to the middle, couldn't do anything there. Look at Caldwell going all the way down to the bottom. They're going to make contact. Randy Payne around. He's spinning. Caution is out. And nobody else involved so far. Payne gets into the wall just a little bit.
Just a nibble.
I don't think it's going to be much.
No. Yeah, it's bad news for the tyres. It's bad news for, I'd say, Caldwell in the stewards report after the race. But it's very good news for David Durand, who gets to move his way back up onto the lead lap. And I mean, he even said on the radio, a little bit optimistic there. And 2 wheels on the grass is always going to be a little bit sketchy. And he just bounces straight up into the left rear of the 75 truck there.
Right on board there. That was from Caldwell. Once again, I just close quarters racing.
And the truck wants to pick up there, actually. It very nearly caught a little bit of air underneath the side panel, but did a good job staying nicely planted on the ground, and I'm sure it'll be a chance for fresh tyres for the number 75, as it looks like most of the field, in fact, are going to come down pit lane. It's a little bit early for the first set, you would think, but especially given that we won't be stopping after lap number 34. They won't get another chance at the end of stage 1 to make a free pit stop, unless a natural caution comes out, of course. I think you're kind of forced into making this call, taking the tyres right now, run it to the end of the stage, and hope that we don't get another slew of cautions to put you without the sets that you need. It is actually everyone down on pit lane, so Durand would have gotten the wave around if he wasn't in the lucky dog position. And it is going to be Walls once again leading off pit lane, but Cody Goza with a bit of a slow stop is going to lose 2 positions there to both Scott and Kruger.
You know, and you mentioned pit road being so busy, and also the fact that this is a little early. And I agree. I hate the fact that, you know, if I'm a driver, I've got a pit right now, but you're really left no choice. I mean, you can stay out, but it would be stupid to. So, yeah, I'd hate to burn a set of tires this quickly, but tires matter here so much, and so it's a no-brainer as far as, you know, coming down and getting those fresh set of tires.
Yeah, I think it's riskier to stay out than it is to pit here. What I will say is quite a risky decision here that I'm seeing from the number 10 of Noah Loveridge. It is a 2-tire call to gain a little bit of time, move up a few spots on pit road, came into pit lane down in 24th position, left it in P19. But those 5 spots are going to come at the expense of those left side tires, so we will see how they perform over the course of the next run. And I'm a little bit concerned that potentially the 10 thought that we would be coming to another stop in about 15 laps time, where to take a full set of 4 tires, and that will not be the case. Or we hope it's not the case anyway.
At least it won't be because of the stage.
It could be because of the stage, not directly.
Yes, you are right. Kind of reminds me of the old caution clock in the truck series. The caution clock brought out cautions without even hitting 0.
And we did see that just last week, didn't we?
Yeah. I called it too. I said, you know, we're not going to have a stage caution at Daytona, but, I mean, it's Daytona. They're coming to the stage. They want every point they can possibly get. There's going to be a caution, but base car is in this one. We're getting ready to go back green. 113 laps to go here from Sparta, Kentucky in the MartinPC.com 200. The green flag is waving once again, and a terrible restart for Philip Scott.
Yeah, it's always tricky when you're on the outside line there, especially from a single monitor, but it is a great run for Kruger, who is now up 2nd place and has a good run off the corner at Walls. Walls going to block inside. Kruger's going to go out the side here. He's just got to try and hang on to that right rear like we saw a little bit earlier. Is he going to be able to keep it there? He is, just about late in the corner. Man. And it is going to be a drag race now down the trioval once again. Walls keeps it for now, but it's all about the entrance to turns 1 and 2 now. A little bit higher banking. And Walls going to really try and use that inside line to retake the position. Kruger maybe a little loose off the corner, but does get to the inside. He's going to try and fight this one back.
Walls really drove it into the corner, too. That was what helped him be able to clear Kruger. Kruger might just have to settle in right now. Trying a little bit of a higher line, though, is Kruger, which is keeping the dirty air really off that nose. Something that you want to do. I know Kruger well enough. He ain't going to settle in, but right now, Walls just kind of setting sail.
Yeah, then 10 laps to go until those net set of stage points are awarded. 10 points in the regular season standings, plus a playoff point for the stage winner. And for drivers like Walls and Kruger, you know that is going to be on their minds. They want to have the biggest leg up that they can first round of the playoffs. And it is going to be very close between them all the way for the next 10 laps. Goza and Rort side by side. Goza, of course, qualified on the pole, but has been slowly being picked off by some of these veterans. Doing a great job to hold on to the 76 right now, as a little bit further back, Noah Loveridge gained 5 positions going for 2 tyres, has already fallen back 6 since the restart.
Yeah, I didn't like that idea of 2 tires, unless you really got up front. But still, I mean, I don't think that it would help much at all. With a track like this is very, very abusive to those tires. Yeah,
we were looking at fall off of about 1.5 seconds just in that sort of 15-20 lap run that we had before the first caution. So a hell of beating on the right sides, and clearly the lefts aren't feeling too great either on that number 10 truck. Now under pressure from David Durand, who of course has made his way back into contention and is now up to 25th place. We'll see how much further he can make it by the end of this one. Next up is Nick Donati, who is down 15 since the drop of the green flag, has not been able to get the race pace out of that number 93 truck so far.
I think, let's see, timing is a little off there, so now that I have it correct. Dawson Allen, I think, fuel only. What I'm seeing is...
I think that was him coming back for a splash and dash.
Oh, yeah, okay, you're right.
Means that maybe he's looking at 110 laps, or however much it was to the end, and I'm wondering if it's possible to save a little bit in this first stint, and it's a big if, this race stays green, maybe he's hoping that he can make a little magic happen and try and outrun the drivers that come in for 2 fresh sets of tyres. And you know I love a fuel strategy, but I think the fresh Goodyears at a track this hot and this abrasive are gonna win out in that one.
Yeah. Good, he goes to the outside of Michael Kruger for P2. Goes a couple lanes higher. Gonna clear Michael Kruger. Now Goza has a sight set on Michael Walls.
And he's got 4 laps to get it done before the stage points get awarded. And what a statement that'd be in your first career start in the series. Take the pole position, fight your way back through for this first stage win. He's now to the inside of Walls here. He's going to try and wrap it all the way down on that yellow line. Walls has the advantage of the momentum off the corner, and he's going to defend it for the time being, but Goza has been flying since the restart, has been running 0.2 a lap quicker than the rest of the cars up here. And so you've got to think it's maybe a matter of time before he manages to pick off the number 7 here.
Good, he goes, notice, running a lot higher than Michael Walls is. He's going to try to take a peek back to the outside. Walls goes back up there. Walls wants to run the bottom, goes a run in the middle. I don't think he's going to be able to get to the right rear of Walls off turn 2. But he keeps running that. He might be up there here in the next couple of laps. And, well, that's when the stage ends. Goza is still right there on Michael Wall's tailgate. Actually going down to the bottom in 1 and 2. Let's see what he does. A lane higher in 3 and 4. Not where he's been running at, though.
And kind of straddling that seam as well. That can sometimes cause a little bit of trouble. He was keeping the tyres sort of on the tram tracks there, not crossing over the seam. But he's going to try and need to find something special here for the final lap of the stage at Kentucky. He's 0.2 back. It looks like it's not going to be enough. A fantastic effort in the first 50 miles of Cody Goza's Grid Network truck career. But it is going to be the number 7 of Walls taking a stage win here at Kentucky. Goza will come home second with Kruger, Raw, and Jones behind. And then Philip Scott, Justin Durand, Travis Van Oostendorp, Tristan Maher, and Cody McCorkle, all within 2 seconds, taking home the remaining stage points for round 2 of the championship. Now, let's keep it rolling.
So 100 laps to go. And Kruger right there with Goza. I'm curious. I mean, how hard was Goza pushing on those tires? And how hard is he going to continue to push on these tires? He was way high up there, maybe brushed the wall. Kruger is there. Kruger is going to clear Goza. Let's put Michael Kruger back at P2.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely struggling for pace right now compared to some of the trucks around. I don't blame him, to be fair, for going for the stage points, trying to really maximize as much as you can. But it's going to be part of the strategy now that anything you use up in that opening stage, you're going to have to keep running as we head into the remainder of the stint. And I'd say we're still about 15 laps before a pit stop would make sense for some of these drivers. Only about 15 green flag laps on this set of Goodyears. And so Goza now has to pay the piper, has to try and hold on to whatever he can. And I'd say if he can enter the pit lane from maybe 10th place at this point, I think it'd be a successful opening run, picking up some additional points and still keeping yourself within range of the fight once you get fresh set boots on.
Going to lose position to Justin Rott and has Rivers, Jones, and Philip Scott right there. Jones sending it in. Goza holds position 4 now, but look at Michael Kruger at 42. Closing in on that 7.
Yeah, I think Kruger kind of went for the opposite thought. Let himself drop back early in the stage. Didn't really have the position to fight for that stage win. But now he seems he has very much the best tyres of the field. It was only Justin Raw that went faster last time by him, and actually Dakota Knoll down in 13th place. So looking good for Kruger to try and run ahead towards the end of this stint. I would say it's about 50 where drivers can start thinking about their first green flag pit stop. But of course, it's going to be a wide cycle here, and if there is a caution on the way in for a driver, then you trap that down and have to take that wave to get yourself back into the lead lap contention.
.40 laps complete here from Kentucky and MartinPC.com 200. If you're interested in getting into sim racing or, well, just gaming PC in general, check out MartinPC.com. Brian Haynes, he'll hook you up. He's got a great selection over there, and he is very knowledgeable about computers. Great guy. He's even raced here before in the Grid Network Truck Series. Head on over to MartinPC.com. You are in the market for a gaming PC.
I mean, especially if you're running like some of the more road-based stuff on iRacing now with a massive car count. So there's caution. Never mind what I was going to talk about. And it's a big one on the backstretch out of into turn number 3. We got about 4 or 5 trucks stopped on the entry, and I think a few of them have some pretty significant contact with the outside wall. What on earth started this one?
Oh, Randy Payne got turned across the nose. Bailey Thompson. It looks like William Kempf involved. Zach Probst. Zachary Wareham. Ooh, the Zach and Zach show. They made hard contact together.
And it was so late out of the corner that all of the other trucks were already starting to barrel in and had a ton of speed. But they just couldn't react in time. And that's a good few that are going to be in a really tough spot. A big shot there for that Vaseline truck. Whereas, there's a number of jokes I'm not going to make about that one.
Cameron Caldwell just avoiding. See William Kempf down there as well in that 09. I was not expecting to see a wreck of that size here at Kentucky, especially not this late into a run.
Yeah, and looking back at it, it's just a similar incident to what caught out Bailey back on Wednesday in the other race that I broadcasted, but I think in this case it's almost more at the hands of Randy Payne. Washed up a little bit, was maybe expecting to be clear and to slot in behind Duncan 4 flat slipstream, and just caught on the nose of the number 27, and it all went wrong from there. So it looks like no trucks with a meatball currently, but it is not going to be quick repairs for a good few of those. Ned and a hope for more cautions to get those things back into shape. I think Randy Payne may be with the worst of it there, with that Probst actually looking very worse for wear on that left front side. The Sawzall already out to try and fix up that side of the car.
Few drivers stayed out.
And I kind of get it. You're going to be running short on tyres at some point here. We've had a couple of short runs to start the race. We've still got nearly 100 laps to go, 90 at the line here. And if you pit for a set, you've only got 2 more in the pits to work with.
Yeah. Again, it's you're forced to make a decision here, and once again, as I mentioned earlier, I hate to have to pit here after, you know, the last pit stop of being forced to pit. So it's a situation where, you know, if you're Kruger, McCorkle, Scott, and Donati, you're in a terrible situation right now. But you've got to do what you've got to do to make sure you've got tires at the end. And also, look at that 10. No leverage. Once again, 2-tire call.
Does that mean that Noah's still on the same set of left side tires, or was this taking the other half this time?
I don't know. I was wondering if it was a fresh set of lefts.
No, Noah stayed out here. Noah's trying to recover something.
Right.
Just stayed out entirely, and I think some trucks looking for a quick call, get some more repairs done. I wouldn't be surprised if we get it. The top 4, it looks like, staying out here. Alonso Chicano took 2 tires as well at the front of the field. We had 6 trucks with more than a minute stationary. 2 trucks still down on pit lane, but we are going to get going, and Michael Crude needs to not spin the tires at the front of the field. He gets away cleanly, but Noah Loveridge already checking up that inside line.
Philip Scott with 2 tires. See if those 2 tires prevail. Look at Michael Walls. He's got 4 freshies. And he is going to be trying to get underneath Cody McCorkle for second place. Just like that. And they're actually going to be 3 wide with Justin Rod on the bottom.
And Raw's going to be clear into turn number 1 here. Ooh. But Michael Cruder's going to block. He's going to take that low side away. Now Walls goes. He can't block both of them. They're going to be side by side on exit, but Walls gets the runner. There's going to be a red behind.
David Arand! Around. He is the only truck rather. Go around. It was with help, though.
Yeah, a little tap with Van Oostendorp and Justin Durand. Spins. And we are fortunate that it wasn't a bigger incident, quite frankly.
Oh, and he got more airtime. His truck should have went up and over.
Yeah, he'll be mostly okay. But that fresh set is not going to be happy right now, and I'd say that's the biggest damage that's done to the Fives' day. They are going to be well behind the 8-ball on strategy for at least the next stint, and maybe for the rest of the run. It'll be, I believe, Zachary Wareham getting the lucky dog out of this one. We could be back to 25 on the lead lap. Zach Probst and William Kempf might be retirements from this one. And Randy Payne still trapped 1 lap down. Going to take some additional repairs from that previous caution. And it's going to be the next one in line to try and cycle back to the lead lap. And a lot of the front runners still staying out. Loveridge finally comes in. Hopefully takes some fresh left side tyres as well. But Kruger, McCorkle and Nick Donati still running out on those 30 lap old tyres. And it's going to be another little bit of carnage on the restart as they are going to have to react to the go signal from Mika Walls. And oh no. I was watching Nolo for just pit stop there. Do you want to take a guess what the call was for the number 10 crew?
2 tires?
It was 2 tires once again.
I'm sorry, 2 tires what?
It was 2 tires again. It is still the starting set of left side tires on board that number 10 truck.
Oof.
And I'm just not quite sure. Maybe it's some long con where maybe he thinks the tyres will bed in eventually and he'll start finding some crazy pace, but he's well behind the rest of the field here. He pit nearly on his own. So why not just take the extra couple seconds and get a full, fresh set of tyres on?
I don't understand the call. But I say it a lot. I'm not a crew chief. I don't claim to be one.
Well, I have been before, and I also don't understand it.
I don't know if I'd make a call like that, but I don't know. Maybe no one knows something that we don't. I'm gonna guess he knows a thing or two. Wait, that didn't. Anyway, we've got 85 laps to go. It's gonna be 84 when we go back green, and the front row is Michael Walls and Justin Rott. Michael Kruger still on those old tires, as well as Cody McCorkle make up row 2. So once again, it's going to be difficult for those 2 drivers to get going. But now you don't have the clean air. If you're the 42, Michael Kruger or Cody McCorkle, it's going to make it even harder here on this restart. Get going, and again, you don't want to spin the tires. It can cause a pretty big accident, or even hurt yourself if you do. The pace car is in, and we are green.
There was a little bit of a whittle there from Kruger, but got it handled without too much trouble. We are going to be 3 wide once again in turn number 1, as that is Rivers Jones tries to cut his way through on the inside of Cody McCorkle. And I think now he's on the high side. He's just going to have to stay there and get shuffled towards the tail end of the field here. The strategy here is definitely hoping for cautions late to deal them back into the running. They are sort of sacrificing the stage of the race. And we've got cautions now, and it's Aaron Van Druska this time as we come out of turn number 4. It's just a little spin off the nose of Justin Durand as we get out of the corner and into the tri-oval.
Whoa, man. Just a little love tap.
A disagreement. Von Drooster was trying to stay a little bit lower, take the shorter line. Durand, I think, expecting 88 to run all the way up to the wall, and then luckily not any significant damage out of that one, but not what we were really hoping for, and under caution once again for, I believe, what is going to be the 4th time tonight.
You know, I know they say cautions breed cautions sometimes. I was not expecting cautions to breed cautions here. Because this is 3 in a row, pretty much, we have had in a very short span of time. I think it's only a matter of time before they get settled in.
I worry that it could be until these remaining trucks decide to pit for a fresh set of tyres, because it is causing that little bit of a rolling roadblock at the front of the field. Drivers having to check up to work their way around. And it's not these drivers doing anything wrong by making the call, and they're driving cleanly and letting the people get around when they make the moves. But it just causes that little bit of a concertina, and as we saw a little bit further back in the field, when you get 3 wide, things don't always happen. And I think because it's such a high tyre burn track, these guys are more incentivized to save a set towards the end of the race. And because of that, the whole field has to deal with a couple of trucks on some worn tyres early on.
Drivers are choosing their lines that they want to restart in. So it's going to be Walls and Jones on the front row. Raw and Bogey, row 2. And how about Bogey in P4? Former Michigan winner few seasons ago here in the Grid Network Truck Series. Row 3, it is, well, Michael Kruger and Cody McCorkle, and they've moved a row back every single restart.
So only 7 more cautions and they'll be shuffled to the tail end.
Got Tristan Maher, Dakota Knoll right behind them, and Duncan Fall, and David Durand. Actually, that's not right. It's going to be Duncan Fall and Cameron Caldwell. However, David Durand being up there as well is pretty impressive after the start he had. But the pace car is in. 80 laps to go here at the line for Micah Walls, as he is inside the restart zone. The green flag is waving. We're back underway here at the MarkPC.com 200.
Well, it's a surprisingly good restart from Michael Kruger there, given the tyre disadvantage. Has a run maybe on Rivers Jones. And those heat cycles may be starting to play and burn up those fresher tyres. Jones is going to be to the inside into turn number 3, and I think this is where Kruger's going to lose back out again. But he's doing an incredible job holding on, given that he's 25 laps older on the set of tyres compared to the rest of the field. And he is going to make every single driver work for it now.
Side drafted Jones as well. Incredible what Kruger is doing. Jones is going to be able to clear. And now here comes Tristan Maher. Ryan Bogey looked like he wanted to go to the outside. Kruger close that door. Bogey is going to go up there. And he's there, 3 wide. Right bogey up to the wall.
I thought for sure he was going to catch a piece of it, but did a great job just staying out of it. Problem is the momentum just didn't seem to carry after that. He's going to have to try and slot in low, going to try and merge in front of Scott and all here, and just about makes it work. We've had a bit of an instant further back, actually. And it is the 27 and the 75 once again, no caution out on the racetrack, but Randy Payne getting caught up and is now going to be dropping out of this one after being a few laps down.
Look at what happened. Run side by side, and well, we have a caution for something else now. It's Dakota Knoll. We'll come back to that here in just a second as we see what happened between Thompson and Payne. See what happened with Dakota Knoll. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's coming up here.
Well, there we go. Oh! Oh!
I think that trick is going to be done for the day. I'm not quite sure whether Durand got a little bit of help. Got nudged up the racetrack into Dakota there. If it was a little bit of a netcode nudge from Cody Goza. It was so tight racing between the two of them. And then Durand just doesn't really get the turn in from that. But that is a nasty hit for the number 55. Just snaps the wheel out of his hands almost. And straight on into the nose, and I think that actually killed the engine on that thing. So they did some speed dry to clear up that oil.
Take a ride on board with Philip Scott. Scott's committed to the high side and just squeezes by. Did a great job.
It's always awful when you're in those situations. You've entered the corner with Trucks inside. I just corner 3 wide, in fact, to the inside. A little bit of a tap below him with Nick Donati and Aaron Vondruska. So you don't want to try and merge down. You don't know what's going on down there. And you've got to hope that whatever happened on the high side clears up before you get there. And it's good use of the brake pedal. He does get through it. We have had the pit stops now, and those trucks on old tyres have finally made the call. It's now 16 laps delta to the leaders, but how many of those have been under green? I did say only maybe 5 or so. And so the tyre delta won't be quite as strong as it has been in the past. Kruger rejoins the race in 15th position with a fresh set of 4 tyres. And hallelujah, Noah Loveridge has taken 4 tyres in the most recent set of pit stops.
I want to know what those left sides were at.
I'm only surprised if the percentages weren't too bad, but the number of heat cycles of all of those restarts and cautions, and it can't have been good for the performance of those things.
No, not at all. I'd give him props for still being in it, though. I mean, looks like 22nd position for Noah Loveridge. Make that 20th, not 22nd, but close enough. So we have chosen the lines that want to restart in. It's going to be Walls and Rott, front row. Jones and Maher, row 2. Faw and David Arand, row 3. Ogie Caldwell, row 4. And Goza and Wareham, row 5. 73 laps to go at the line. We're not even halfway yet. We've had 5 cautions for 14 total laps. Track temp coming down just a little bit. It's now 106 degrees Fahrenheit. That wind still blowing at 7 miles per hour to the north. Pace car is in. And Walls is approaching the restart zone. He's there. The green flag is waving. We're back underway.
And Raw got a great jump there, but still can't quite stay alongside into turn number 1. I'm sure he'll try and pinch Rivers Jones, but it go gap up on the inside, and number 18 might try and go for the race lead. Cycle past Walls as well. Walls just about clear to cut the nose off there.
Oh,
but Jones
man.
did get the position on this restart. It turns out that the outside line maybe not where Justin Roth wanted to be.
Roth's going to look to the outside line of Rivers Jones. Jones going way low down the back straightaway. And Jones takes position back from Justin Roth. Duncan Fall was side by side with David Rand, and Fall is able to clear Durand.
What a run this has been for Durand, though. Needed that first caution to cycle back onto the lead lap, and now has just kept finding positions after incident. Now running in 6th place, up 21 to where he started. The biggest mover on the field, and is looking for a spot inside that top 5.
It's incredible what David Rand is doing right now. Former pole sitter here at Kentucky. So he is looking to get underneath Fall, but couldn't do so. Actually going to slide up. Ryan Bogey's going to get underneath Durand. So side by side.
It depends where the lead trucks go, and everyone goes down to the bottom. And so David Durand has a little bit of clean air to work with. Is he going to get the run off the corner? He's going to have that slipstream advantage, and he's going to be able to pull a little bit ahead once again in turn number 3. And now he goes all the way up into that 3rd groove to try and defend this position, and he's going to have him.
David's still not pulling into line. Actually, I think he wants to get to the outside of Fall. He does. David Rand trying to make some moves. Loose there off the corner. Did he brush the wall, maybe?
I think a little bit, but it's not going to matter all that much. He's got another drive off the corner in turn 4. It seems like down in that lower banking, it's really where the outside line lets you take more of an advantage. He's going to go for it into turn 1 here on Tristan Maher. But I think it's a bit more of a setup move, potentially. I mean, he's got to be burning up those tyres going for these moves. He's got ahead into turn number 3, actually. And now he's going to sit low. Now he doesn't have to make those moves. You know, try and set up Justin Roth to get from the pit lane from 1 lap down, try and get onto the podium.
How about Michael Kruger now 3 wide with Bogey and Faw? Make that Caldwell Bogey and Kruger 3 wide. Kruger clears most of them, still side by side with Faw.
And look at the logjam behind.
Oh yeah. Lonzo Chicano there as well. He is on fresher tires. Chicano
just about clear.
Oh man. Chicano following Michael Kruger. Caldwell stuck on the outside line of Ryan Bogey. Get a clear Bogey. Caldwell gets in the line. Look at Tristan Maher running the higher line right now. Maybe trying to get back to the right rear of David Durand. But Kruger is making moves with those fresher tires. Now Kruger is on the back of the top 5. Underneath teammate Tristan Maher. David Durand, Justin Ross, side by side, just ahead of him for 4th place. What does Kruger do here? Well, he takes peak low. I thought he was going to go for it.
I think maybe there's more room to work with here in the tri-oval. He's set it up. He's going to get his nose in. He's going to go all the way down below that yellow line. David Durand is going to clear and almost go for the block. Then it'll be 3 wide once again. And Kruger's going to try and hold it all the way down here. A narrow entry. But he's going to have to drive in the mid-corner. And he's going to clear them both.
Alonso Chicano doing the same. 3 wide, 2 wide. Chicano still trying to follow Michael Kruger. And honestly, not a bad guy to follow.
Yeah, just copy the homework. Just change it a little bit. Make the banking 3 degrees lower, but still the same move either way. They're now 4th and 5th and making work on David Durand. And Chicano actually still a little bit on defense from Maher and Dorter here. He's going to slide back up the racetrack as Kruger clears for 3rd place.
Kruger and Chicano teammates. Sort of. Satellite team. Actually, Kruger is Chicano's driver. Lonzo and I own the team. Kruger is one of our drivers.
So a bit of a 23-11 situation almost.
Yep, exactly. Lonzo still races for Radius Racing, but him and I are co-team owners of Chicano Motorsports with BBR Manufacturing. Three of our drivers top 10. Kruger, Maher, and McCorkle.
Good way to continue the form from Daytona.
Absolutely. And then Zach Probst, P28.
We are 22 on the lead lap here. Oh, 22 in the lead pack, I should say. Stephen Thornton just holding on 4 seconds back from your race leader. As they're side by side, in fact, for that race lead. Kruger going to try and get the move on Walls, has those fresher tyres. It's with inside into turn number 1. They might catch lap traffic before the pit cycle here, because Bailey Thompson's still wounded from those incidents at the start of the race. And Michael Kruger is going to be the first one to catch that 27 truck if it comes to it, because he's just taking the point through turn number 2. You have a new race leader once again.
Alonso Chicano, he is going to be trying to do the same thing to Mike Walls very quickly, and that's get around him. It's going to be a little bit harder for Mike Walls to hold off Chicano now that he's in dirty air. It's Randy Payne, that driver's just passed. Down on the apron.
24 laps down, just trying to pick up some spots here. William Kemp, 10 laps down, also carrying some wounds and just looking to pick up what he can. And I'm not saying it's impossible for enough lucky dodds, but I'm saying I don't hope for it.
And also, you know, just getting experience, just being out here, turning more laps, it's never a bad thing. And Chicano looking underneath Michael Walls. He's there. Walls drives it up the racetrack. Chicano going to be able to pull side by side with Walls. Maybe a little side draft there before turn 1. And Chicano is going to clear Walls.
Great move. Using the most of those tires as the delta's a little bit less than it was, but there's still a little bit of a benefit to having that fresh set. And of course, they'll have a little bit more fuel on board. They'll be able to run a little bit past when the window opens in about 15 laps time to try and have those fresher tires at the end of the race if we stay green. The drivers who pit early might have to come in basically on lap 94 or just a little bit after it. Won't really have that wiggle room to work with, as trying to try and run away now. It's Cody McCorkle, the next driver, on fresh tyres, back in 5th place. And at the tail end of our lead pack, we still have some 2 nearly 3 wide racing, as Cameron Caldwell staggered between David Durand and Duncan Ford.
Yeah, David Durand has started to fade back a little bit. We talked about how those moves that he was making on the outside might have been burning up his tires. Still sitting in the 10th position. But, I mean, just look at the line behind him. One little slip up, and it's not going to take much.
McCorkle is now back up into 4th place. He's working on walls for 3rd, going to the outside, as opposed to a lot of the other drivers waiting for the moves on the inside of the corners. McCorkle going to rip it up against the wall here down the backstretch and get that slipstream from Chicano to try and pull a nose ahead. And we are about to hit lap traffic. Bailey Thompson really hoping for a caution and potentially a lucky dog position here, because that truck is not looking very good at all.
The good news for Thompson is if a caution does come out after Thompson gets passed, or, you know, could even be a while, nobody else is in danger of going a lap down.
Yeah, the concern would be if it happens in the pit cycle, that'd then put some other trucks 1 lap down to take the wave.
Which, speaking of, Tristan Maher was just in his pit box, so I think pit cycle might be starting. No takers this time by, though.
Oh, I had my calculations wrong. We have 52 laps to the checker. Tristan, I think, has pit as early as possible to go for a big undercut here, and is currently just 8 seconds behind Thompson, who is running about 3 seconds off the pace right now. So, essentially, Bailey needs the caution within the next 3 laps to not end up trapped a lap down under a caution. But with how they're racing, it could be within those 3 laps where we get it. Leader's running 32.9s right now on those 25 lap old tires. Tristan Maher ran a 31.7 last time by, so he's definitely gaining. He's going to have a lot of field to cut through once he gets there, but he's going to be in a really good position once he gets through the field and really use those tires to pull away.
Justin Duran able to get past Micah Walls, so Walls drops another position. Now you have Radius Racing, 2nd and 4th. Chicano Motorsports, 1st and 3rd. There's 4 drivers.
Oh, there's contact between Bogey and Donati. Donati's going to spin back up the racetrack. And is that going to bring out a caution? No. Truck stays pointing just fast enough in a straight line that we are going to stay green. Here is out of turn number 4. And they just get a little bit wedged on each other, and there's not really anything that they can do at that point. And how that isn't a massive issue, I don't know. Who was that got up into the wall afterwards? It was Aaron Vondruska. Could have a little bit of damage on the right front. But we are going to stay green here on lap number 87. The window is open. That would have brought everyone down pit lane en masse. But for the time being, it is going to be heading towards more green flag pit stops.
That was pretty incredible. that they didn't wreck. We're able to keep it green. Great driving by Nick Donati. Justin Rand.
Curses.
Go ahead.
Curses for Thompson, who is now out of the lucky dog position. Tristan Maher getting through 23rd, now has the entire rest of the field to try and get through.
Yeah, Maher feels like Superman right now. He's got 4 fresh tires. It's going to be flying past everybody. So once things cycle through, I mean, I assume Tristan's going to have the race lead, but everybody else, by the time they pit, they're going to have the fresher tires. They're going to start running Tristan Maher down. So right now, 45 laps to go for the in the race here. And Tristan doing a great job. He needs to create as much of a buffer between himself and everybody else as he possibly can if we go green all the way to the end.
Yeah, and I think this might be part of the gamble for Tristan. Expecting a caution in maybe the final 20 laps or so before his tyres really start to feel the worst of it. And they can come back in and the entire field gets reset once again. But if not, everyone has to pay the piper eventually. And Tristan Maher has a long way to go on these tyres. It'll be a 52-lap stint, I think, to the end of the race. And that does not sound like much fun at all.
No. It's not at all what
it
I
looks
would
fun
want
right now. It won't look fun in 40 laps.
A couple of pitters. Philip Scott, Levi Poland.
Yeah, I think now is a pretty good time if you stayed out under the previous cautions. Justin Rort now in as well.
So here's the thing. You know, if you're the top 4 who came in, got 4 fresh tires, and you've got the positions right now, how much longer do you want to run? You're not that much further ahead of Michael Walls, who's going to have to pit before, you know, the 4 in front of him. In fact, Michael Walls coming in right now. I think if you're Kruger, Chicano, Justin Rand, and Cody McCorkle, you've got to make your move quick. You've got to act as if you're on the same set as these guys. And right now, because they're going to be able to start catching you really quickly.
You've got the clean air is the nice thing, and they're kind of spread out at the front of the field here. You've got to respond sooner rather than later, but I think you can probably extend up until maybe lap 100 at the latest, and you're still going to be within striking distance, and you're going to give yourself that offset once again that worked so well for you at the start of this stint. I think before too long, you're going to be catching them again as Tristan slots his way through. He's nearly back on the lead lap. Of course, he is in the lucky dog position right now, but I'm sure would love to deal himself back into the cycle and into what would be, I think, the race lead if the caution fell after he gets past these next 3 trucks.
Yeah. He is, he's definitely going to be the leader after things cycle through, and currently looking underneath Justin Rand. 2 more trucks to get through before he's back on the lead lap. As a couple more drivers come down pit road. The 18 of Rivers Jones.
Oh, and it looks like Duncan 4, too fast exiting, has to come back down pit road for a black flag player here. So that puts him way behind the 8 ball compared to the rest of the field.
That hurts.
It was such a tight margin. It looked like he was running sort of 47 miles an hour, pit speed being 45. But they're still going to catch you if you keep it up for too long, and it's going to be a hold for Duncan, not just a pass through to serve that penalty, and it could be day done for number 16 here. And Chicano pulls the trigger. He is in at the end of lap number 97. And I think now is the time that if you're Crude, if you're Durand, especially if you're McCorkle, I think you respond next time by. I think we're going to see the number 2 in this time by.
Chicano safely in his box. Kruger not wanting pit just yet. Neither does Justin Durand or Cody McCorkle.
And especially for Kruger, when you're being hounded by Tristan Maher here, as 17 does get back onto the lead lap, sometimes just pitting out of the way of traffic can be valuable. And now Kruger's in a little bit of dirty air as well, with that Pratt Miller truck in front. But it's going to be a little bit of slipstream as well, potentially, which could drag the 42 along as we are going to start lap 100 here at Kentucky.
"35 laps still left in this race." MartinPC.com 200. When did they pit? I mean, Kruger's still not set on pitting. I think Kruger wants to run long, but here comes Justin Durand.
I did say by lap 100, right on time, the number 5 down pit lane. We had another pit lane mishap further back. Noah Loveridge, it looks like, tried to make his way in, but had to abort pit entry. He stays out for a couple more laps. But last lap time being credited 4:10, 34.0, and before that, a 34.5. So struggling and losing out a little bit with that tricky pit entry on these worn tyres. More struts in now. It is going to be David Durand, Van Oostendorp. They're going to make contact on pit entry. I think we're going to stay green here, but miscommunication on the way in, and that can be the danger in green flag pit stops sometimes.
The 88 was coming up behind him too. Van Druska pulled over and towed back to his box. Here comes Michael Kruger, number 42, C2 Graphics Chevy. Cameron Caldwell going to take the lead.
Durand is currently trapped one lap down, as is Cody McCorkle. Chicano has gotten back onto the lead lap and is just 6 seconds behind Tristan Maher on 16 lap pressure tyres. So I think we know the gamble's not going to work out for the number 17 as he gets chased down by the rest of the field. But for the rest of these guys that pit in the last 10 laps, the delta might be a little bit weaker. It could be more difficult for drivers like Durand to cycle in, as into the pit lane is Cameron Caldwell. More trucks cycled back onto the lead lap. And in fact, it's going to be Noah Loveridge who leads the way as he gets past Dawson Allen in turns 1 and 2. That'll be, of course, a bonus point that could be vital coming towards the end of the season.
Where I'm coming down pit road. So ultimately, look at this gap right here. Tristan Maher. You know, we said if once things cycle through, Maher will be the leader. And if the top 5 pit right now, that will be the case, but not for long. Justin Rott and Michael Walls right behind him. Rott actually, of course, is already one of those that have come down pit road. Justin Rott would be the leader. He's able to get past Tristan Maher, and top 5 come down pit road. Right now, no movement.
And I know that Kentucky's famous for its chicken, but I think Tristan Maher's goose might be about to be cut to gonna be under threat from Justin Roth, who was 7/10 faster on the last lap, 11 laps fresher tyres, and it's not going to take too much effort here. Roth's going to go to the inside, it looks like, and turn number 1, it'll look very easy on the low side for Roth to pull away.
Justin Roth's got it.
It's not over because here comes Walls as well. Jones is just a second back. And then Alonso Chicano, who has 16 lap fresher tyres and is even up to 5 laps fresher than Justin Roth ahead, is only about a second and a half down the road as well. Walls is going to get that move done pretty easily as we look at the battle between Jones and Chicano. And this one's not easy for Alonso. He's only 2 laps to the good. He needs to try and get this done cleanly, but confidently. And Jones is not going to give it up just yet.
Chicano's got him so far, side by side. Pulls down. Jones actually might be side drafting himself a little bit there off Chicano's nose.
And I think this is the main thing. If you're gonna go long and get that tyre advantage, you've got to make it a good few laps. They're gonna split Maher 3 wide nearly, and Chicano is gonna make it through here. But you've got to make the call to either respond immediately and stay ahead of them on strategy, or go long enough that it's like they're standing still when you fly back past them. It's a little bit awkward when the delta's just a couple of laps, and it took a little bit of traffic for Charge to get that move done. And Rivers Jones now finally gets around Tristan Maher, who I think is begging for a caution to set the field and give them a sprint to the finish.
Top 2 still have yet to come down pit road. That's Noah Loveridge and Troy Sand. But I think the battle is going to be between Walls and Chicano. Chicano is closing in on these top 2.
Kruger's only about 3 seconds back though, and Kruger has the freshest tyres of everyone outside of Cameron Caldwell, who is significantly further behind. I think it's going to be a little bit of a bar fight between those 3. But I think Kruger might come in and pick up pieces here.
Chicano right there on the tailgate of Michael Walls. Walls slides up a little bit. Chicano's going to peek to the inside. Just there at the left rear. Walls pinching Chicano down. Now starting to drive wide off of turn 4. Chicano trying to get a little bit of side draft. But you mentioned, I see Kruger in the background. Kruger is going to be closing. He's got even fresher tires. You mentioned Chicano needs to run, and run fast, as he is almost clear of Michael Walls. Still side by side there for the, well, 3rd position right now. What will be 2nd once Loveridge decides to come down pit road. And Roth's kind of blocking as well. Playing teammate games, these GOAT guys. They've got Chicano in the box. Chicano's not having any of it. 3 wide. Sorry for cutting you off.
No, once he got to the inside, it was a brave move to keep the nose there as long as possible. Then the tyre advantage is just that good, but Kruger is now in this fight. Has to get around Rivers Jones still. Is going to duck to the outside off turn number 4 and just about get to the run alongside. And as Loveridge pits, this is now the battle for the race lead. Chicano starting to pull a bit of a gap. But he needs Rotor Walls to form a complete roadblock, because Kruger has 10 laps on both of them. And I wouldn't be surprised if he sends this one through UI to get the move done.
It's Walls and Rott are side by side. Kruger's gonna go even higher. Kruger's to the outside of Rott and Walls. Here comes Michael Kruger. They're 3 wide for second place.
And that is what a fresh set of Goodyears can do for you. Tristan Maher got a taste of it early. Now Michael Kruger gets to feast. And it's just one more to go. Orlando Chicano is going to have to defend for his life, but with 18 laps to go at the line, it looks like the writing is going to be on the wall, and Kruger is going to again look to the outside. We saw how effective it was. Chicano can't get the block on the outside. And Kruger will retake the race lead. And I think he's going to confirm this move through 1 and 2 here.
Chicano not able to hold him off. But Alonso Chicano being able to get up into this position where he is in second place is not something that he's going to take lightly. Not the win that he's wants so far. I mean, anything can happen. We're coming to 17 to go. Not saying Alonso's not going to win this race just yet, but you know, if he does finish here in second place, this is a great result for that 25 machine.
Yeah, I mean, Kruger's going to try and run into the sunset here. I'd say the hope for these drivers is either that he's burnt up his tyres with those moves early, he's really tried to force his way through, and that he's going to start to fade at the end here. Or I think more likely that this pack behind with Raw and Wall sliding up the racetrack in front, if they bring out a caution, all bets are off. I think everyone comes down pit lane for what might be their final set of tyres, and suddenly you're on even plane again. You can try and force your way around.
Rott Walls just will not get away from each other. And Rivers Jones is there. They've got a lap truck behind him. Nick Donati trying to make a move underneath Justin Rand. And this actually forces Duran to move up. Donati goes underneath Rivers Jones. So Justin Rand gonna try to pick these guys off.
Remember, Nick is a lap down, but does have fresher tyres, is running even fresher tyres than Kruger, so has every right to try and force his way back through, get back onto the lead lap in the event of a caution.
Oof. A little bit of contact there with Rott.
Slide between the GOAT racing trucks there. I'm sure they're not happy about it, but he's going to be gone before they have a time to retaliate, and that's one more little piece of chaos to throw into the mix. There's a few trucks that are lapped down but have just pit. Loveridge up next. Stephen Thornton might get to these leaders as well, and they are not going to be patient getting around because they want to try and get back onto the lead lap in the event of a late caution.
Justin Rand side by side with Rott. Justin and Justin's show has been something over the last few seasons. Duran and Rott, a little bit of a rivalry. Duran is trying to get around Rott. Do the same to Walls. Let's go, guys.
He's got those fresher tyres, but I'm sure Walls is going to try and block this. He can't quite get down to the yellow line, though. So Durand is going to be between the two of them, and he's going to have the nose in the tri-oval, and I think can now use those tyres to try and get the move done. Racing against two drivers on the same team who are sort of working together on the same strategy. It's always so tricky, and Durand has done a great job picking his way through.
Justin Rand up P3.
And Michael Kruger is directing traffic here. Nick Donati, again, unlapping, and if a caution came out, then of course would probably stay out and inherit the race lead. Kruger does not want to take any chances communicating to make sure the move is done as cleanly as possible. And Donati will unlap. It'll put Loveridge into the lucky dog position. with 10 laps to go. And look what he's catching up to now, because it's that goat racing duo once again.
Well, I'd say more of a trio with Rivers Jones being a part of the same affiliation.
He should get the right paint scheme then. He should get the team synergy going.
I see the word goat right on the right underneath the in the team location.
Okay. Yeah, here comes Loveridge. And again, it's so tricky because we know Jones has the fresher tires. He's going to probably try and cut through, given an opportunity. And Loveridge is going to punch a hole here, getting around these goat racing trucks. Ooh. Oh! And Jones is not having any of it. That is a 20-lap tire differential, and Jones is really trying to keep Loveridge behind. Gets through, he's going to go to the inside. And Walls is going to have the block here, but is at the inside of Justin Rort for the time being. And can the 18 follow the number 10 through for this position? He's going to look for it. He's going to shut the door right behind that lap truck.
Okay. My everything just wanted to go through the matrix there. Anyway, we're good. We didn't lag out. 7 to go here at Kentucky.
We did have a fight for second place here. Justin Durand catching up to Chicano. Tristan Maher on 46 lap old tyres has now fallen down to 9th place. Should still hold on to a top 10 with Levi Poland running a good 6 seconds further back. But there's still a few little pockets to sort out, and if anything goes wrong between them, then we are going to have a very interesting end to this race.
I'll tell you right now, Justin Rand really hopes that Noah does not get involved in this battle. Chicano really hopes that Noah gets side-by-side with Justin Rand, but it's not going to be quick enough. Justin Rand to the inside of Alonso Chicano for this second position.
Yeah, and Loveridge, again, is not going to want to wait around. Wants to be lead lap and not lucky dog, so he can maybe stay out on this set of tyres and really give himself a shot at the race win. Whether we can get to Kruger in the next 3 laps is maybe another question, but you're going to try and give it everything you can, and unfortunately for Justin Durand, it means that he's now separated from Chicano. The question is, how cleanly does Loveridge get this move done? And can the 5 try and sneak his way through once again? He's going to go low in the tri-oval. He's not quite got the momentum yet. And Durand is going to try and fill that gap. He's going to try and push the 10 through and follow in the footsteps. And this is how you use lap trucks as a pit.
Ooh, man. Coverage does get clear of Chicano. Justin Rand taking a peek once again underneath Chicano. Remember, these guys are Radius Racing teammates. Chicano holding off Durand.
The 3 goat trucks also still under a blanket, as always, and now they have Randy Kane to potentially cut through. We've got 2.5 laps to go here at Kentucky. And Jones now looks to the inside. It was nearly 3 wide for a second. Durand seems to have lost that tyre advantage he had over Chicano. 3 lap difference, but the wear is so critical at this phase of the stint. It's about how you've driven them, not just for how long.
2 laps go. Michael Kruger, he is just praying he can get the white flag without a yellow flag coming out beforehand. He doesn't care if they wreck afterwards. He just does not want the yellow to come out. It's Justin Rand trying to send it underneath Alonso Chicano. Justin's going to have one more opportunity. Well, two rather. But white flag is out for Michael Kruger. We're going to keep our eyes on this battle right here for second. In the meantime, car going through the grass.
It's not. He's just trying to stay out of the way of our leaders now. Knows there's nothing to fight for. There's a battle for fourth place here between Walls and between Jones and Raw for fifth. They're going to be side by side through turns 3 and 4. But more importantly, looking towards the front of the field, a late pit call and charges back through. Michael Kruger in the 42 takes the win at Kentucky.
Alonso Chicano holds off Justin Rand for second place. I know it's not the win he wanted, but great job, buddy, Alonso Chicano, to get second here in this race.
Oh, Wolf ran out of gas at the end.
Oh, man. My buddy, Michael Kruger, getting the win. And, well, you mentioned earlier how this place, and it's very well known as well, Kentucky, for their fried chicken. But, you know, I think they're going to be known for their donuts here in a moment, because I'm going to guess the best tasting donuts will be in Kentucky here momentarily, as the team is all celebrating with driver number 42, Michael Kruger. And, you know, for a long time, well, Kruger had the 42 for one season, but for a long time in the series, the 42 was mine. I gave it up. Kruger wanted to pick it up, and I told him, take care of the 42. And he's done a whole lot better job with the 42 than I ever did. Michael Kruger claiming the win early on, race number 2 in Season 8 of the Blazer Sim Racing Grid Network Truck Series. TheMartinPC.com 200 won by Michael Kruger. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at our unofficial race results. And Michael Kruger, of course, the race winner. Alonso Chicano, P2. Great job for Chicano. Justin Rand, P3. Rivers Jones brings it home 4th. Justin Raw, 5th. Michael Walls, P6. Cody McCorkle, P7. Cameron Caldwell, 8th. Tristan Maher, 9th. And Philip Scott brings it home in 10th position.
Levi Poland will come home in 11th with Ryan Bodie behind. Then it's David Durand from a lap down will finish in 13th ahead of pole sitter Cody Goza. Still a strong debut for the number 96 truck. Zachary Wareham will finish in 15th ahead of Dawson Allen and Travis Van Oostendorp, your final truck on the lead lap here tonight. And then it's Noah Loveridge, Stephen Thornton and Troy Sand, all one lap down, round out your top 20.
Duncan Fall finishes 21st. Nick Donati, 22nd. Of course, this is also 21st, but it's 22nd. William Kempf, 23rd. Randy Payne, 24th. Aaron Van Druska, 25th. Bailey Thompson, 26th. Dakota Knoll, 27th. Zach Probst, 28th. And Jamie Wright didn't race tonight. So, we have some interviews to do, and Olivia, I want to do things different. I talk to Mikey a lot, and granted, I love talking to Mikey, love interviewing him, but I want to talk to Alonso. It's been a very long time since I've gotten to interview Alonso, so we're actually going to start with you, taking Justin Rand at 3rd. I'll take Alonso, and you'll get the winner tonight, Michael Kruger.
Sounds good.
Let's go ahead and forcibly move Justin Rand down.
And Justin, congratulations on a podium finish here in Kentucky, and a very chaotic race early. It set you upon an alternate strategy to the rest of the field. And first of all, how was it just surviving that melee of those consecutive cautions on those slightly older tires to the field? Justin, are we doing a copy?
He's speechless from his third place finish. We'll come back to him. Well, I guess let's go ahead and do things in reverse order. Start with race winner Michael Kruger, if he's there.
I certainly hope so. Michael, you got a copy?
Oh, Eric, yeah, somehow.
Hello, and I mean, congratulations! What a fantastic run here. First win since Oschersleben back close to a year ago at this point, and after a string of really strong results to finish out season 6 or season 7 and start season 8, you finally got it onto the top step. How does that one feel?
It's just overwhelming. I mean, going a whole year last year winless. I mean, not winning a race, coming close so many times, and just not having something go right, whether whatever strategy or whatever. I mean, oh, it feels so freaking surreal to finally win one on an oval of all places. I mean, I haven't won on an oval in too long, and I mean, it's just so sweet to finally get one. I mean, yeah, I can't believe of all places, I wouldn't have imagined I would have won at Kentucky of all places too. I mean, with the problems Justin had and how the strategy card all played out and everything, I mean, everything just went right when I needed it to. I mean, everything came into place exactly how it was supposed to, and yeah, I mean, I just knew I had to wait long on strategy, I pit late. I knew I had to because of how good the tire advantage was here. I mean, it was a bit risky as well with the move, but I know I had to do what I had to do there to wait it out, and I knew I'd have a better advantage to be able to catch everybody, and I just needed to be green, and it did. So it's just great.
Yeah, almost a survival race at the start of that second stage, just making sure your truck stayed in one piece, and then finally taking the tires up what ended up being the final caution, I think. So really well timed call down pit lane, and then you extended all the way at about 60 laps on the green flag run to take that final stop. Talk us through the decision to go on compared to everyone else, and did you know that it was going to end up working out in the end?
Well, on that strategy I made when majority of the field pitted and stuff, I knew the risk of that, because if we go long here, I'm in trouble. But if we get cautions to wear out the people that took tires and stuff and had the big advantage, I knew I'd be able to make something work there. And me and Cody and Alonso and Justin, whoever else also took the strategy, we all rolled the dice. We know the chances we took. We know with the two cautions that came out before him, we knew we were taking another chance and another chance at putting ourselves in a spot where we are either in trouble and this goes long, or we get a brief run and then we get a caution. And we got that caution, and we came down, and I mean, when I came down tires, all I needed is just for it to go green. I mean, it was not going to work if I stayed out, or if we had a caution midway through. There's no way. It went green, and I mean, I knew I had the pace to be able to get through on tires. I just had to kind of be careful managing it and not overheat my stuff there. And once we got up front, I just knew that I just had to keep in manage mode and just play the car to the strength I had. And I was staying out longer and being able to take tires later and maximize the strength of them and be able to catch people down over a prolonged run. And we did just that. I mean, that's literally all I needed there for it to pan out there.
Well, you've got 3 weeks to celebrate this one. Race win championship leader now, as we head into a little bit of a break. So be sure to enjoy. And before we let you go and celebrate, is there anything you want to say to the fans at home? The floor is yours. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Olivia. I'd like to thank everybody a part of CHM, everybody. I mean, I'd like to thank the boss man himself, Alonso. It felt a little painful to let him go there, to have to get by him at the end. I know he's on a streak as well, but we're all chasing the win. I gotta shout out him. He was wonderful on the strategy. He was terrific tonight. I gotta thank Tristan Maher, my teammate as well, and Cody McCorkle and Zach Probst, all those guys. The CHM, and it's just sad to see Two Graphics Cam for putting my scheme together and everything for the season. I'm gonna forget. I gotta shout out my mom and dad as well for watching this too. I mean, it's been too long to celebrate one, so it's gonna be a wonderful celebration tonight over this one. So it's gonna be great.
Well, do enjoy that. We will let you go, and we will see you in a few weeks' time over at Gateway. Have a good night.
Actually, I want to say something to Mikey real quick. Yeah, I just couldn't go in an interview without saying something to him. No, in reality, so I don't think we mentioned it at all last week. William Kempf, over the off-season, decided that he was going to start something to where the cleanest driver of the race, driver with the least incident points that completes, I think it's 80% of the race, gets a money reward. And Mikey, you were the highest finishing driver with a 0x, so you get the, what is he calling it? The Tortoise Speed Safety Driver Award. So congrats on that as well.
Oh, no way! Actually, one more of these little award things for BSR. No way! I mean, I'm thankful to win the Tortoise Speed Safety Driver Award from William Kempf. I'm thankful for that. I'm honored to. I really kind of didn't expect to win that as well, so I'm super happy about that as well. So it's going to be wonderful to relish that as well from tonight as well. And I want to also thank William Kemp for the award as well. I want to thank him for providing all of us this opportunity to go out and chase it and be a clean driver.
Yeah, I think this makes you officially a professional now, so enjoy that one.
Yeah, hopefully I can stay that way. It won't be easy.
Well, congrats on the nice win there, buddy.
Thank you so much, Josh.
And that was Michael Kruger. And we're going to go ahead and bring in our second place finisher, Alonso Chicano. And Alonso, I so badly wanted to interview you, second place finisher here tonight. It has been a very long time since I've got to talk to you in an interview. And, not the win that you wanted, but a great finishing result. Second place. What was going through your mind there on that last run?
Well, first, I do want to say it really has been too long. I'm really gotta hear your voice again, Josh, interviewing me. It's been so long since I've finished top 3, and I don't think ever since Olivia has started broadcasting. So it's just crazy how long it's been. To be a champion in this league, and for so long I considered myself to truly be a top contender in this league, and I consider myself the guy to beat week in and week out for so long, and it's crazy how so many good drivers are here now, and then this league has gotten so much harder, and it's really hard to keep up with all these young guys who practice, who have so much time to practice. So it feels great to get a podium finish here, P2. Man, I want to win so bad, but if I got to finish P2 to anyone, I'll take finishing P2 to one of my drivers, Mikey. So congratulations to him. And so many things were going through my mind to answer your question. I was thinking, how am I gonna lose it this time? To be honest, just because we've certainly had speed a couple times here and there, a couple weeks that we could have finished top 3, but something always ends up happening. We always get involved in someone's mess. So just to finally do some sort of off strategy that ends up working in our favors is really nice. So yeah, I'm just really glad to finally put a whole race together.
Yeah, and you mentioned it did come down to strategy. You needed everything to work out right. And, strategy for me has always been hard to try to do because it's a gamble. And for tonight, it actually worked out in your favor, to be able to finish up front. And so I want to know, first of all, I noticed that some guys from Radius or Chicano Motorsports were on the same strategy here. Who made that call?
To be honest with you, I mean, I was kind of thinking it in my head myself, and then Cody, he thought it out loud. I think so did Mikey. So they ended up doing it as well. It just kind of worked out that way. I think we were all just kind of thinking it individually, and I know I was thinking in my head I was going to do it no matter what. And I don't know if it was Cody or Mikey who said it first, but they were just thinking the same thing as I was. So the tough part, to be honest, was just knowing when to pit again after that, because we had a couple back-to-back cautions, and that was the real gamble is, do we pit now? Do we pit next caution? Because, now that we have no stages, there's no cautions are guaranteed. So we really got lucky that we were able to run a couple more laps, get a little bit longer run in before another caution came out, because if not, then, the whole thing would have been a wash. So thankfully, I did think about pitting at the second caution after, but everybody else had only really run about 2 laps on their tires, even though it had been about 8 laps since everybody last pitted. But thankfully, things worked out this time. They don't always do, but I'm just really grateful to finally get one that, we definitely didn't have the raw pace of P2, but other times we do, and it doesn't end up working out. So we'll get it however we can get it, to be honest.
Sponsor shout-outs. Who gets it done behind the number 25 machine?
I gotta say, I gotta give a huge, major shout-out to Justin Duran for helping me practice here today. I was helping me relearn this track here. He finished, came back and got P3 after being involved in 2 incidents there, and he's always going to be himself pretty bad because he comes in here wanting to win as well, especially here in Kentucky where he's so good. Coming into the race, he was definitely the guy to beat. But shout out to him. Shout out to obviously Mikey Kruger for winning the race. All of CHM, PBR, all of Radius, and of course Not Famous Racing, Grid Network, Habanos Mexican Grill, Celsius, Mardon PC, all my sponsors, and I'm probably forgetting some people, but of course shout out to my girlfriend who, even though I've been doubting myself all last season, ended up not running full time just because things were just not going my way at all. So thankful for her as well for pushing me to keep going. And of course, thank you to JCTV, yourself, Josh, and Olivia for broadcasting. We wouldn't be able to have our friends watching if it wasn't for you guys. So I appreciate both of you as well, and JCTV.
Thank you for that, and congratulations on the runner-up finish. And we'll see you in a few weeks' time at I think it was Gateway.
Yep, got a couple weeks off, so we'll be back at Gateway.
All right. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
That was Lonzo Chicano, second place finisher here tonight, and I don't think we're going to get word from Justin Rand. So I believe that concludes our interviews. But overall, Olivia, Kentucky, what's your post-race thoughts?
And it ended up being a really interesting sort of finish to that race. It was a little bit of a shame we had that string of cautions when we did, but it really did play that strategy into going. And so once we got that green, things ended up really rewarding those who took that gamble. And of course, congratulations to Michael Kruger, who gets it done with a great run, 49 laps led, and the fastest lap of the race. Most importantly, leads lap number 134 and takes home the checkered flag.
Yeah, I think it was a really good race. We did get into that, span of cautions where we had 4 in a row. But I'm glad that they were able to get things cleaned up, and we didn't have another one throughout the rest of the night. So 5 cautions overall tonight. But great strategy call by those Radius and Chicano Motorsports guys. Overall, top 3. Part of those affiliations. Conan Corkle getting 7th as well. That was all on that strategy. So great run for them. But I think that's going to do it from us here tonight. We do have a couple of bye weeks. I'm not really sure why we have one next week. But we do. The week after that would be 4th of July. But either way, we'll be back in a couple weeks' time. July 12th, actually, and that will be from Gateway. So looking forward to that one. Congratulations to Michael Kruger, and thank you to all the admins, the drivers, and the fans. Without you guys, this would not be possible. And on behalf of the entire outstanding crew at JCTV and Olivia Hayward, I am Joshua Copperl signing off. Saying so long, stay safe, and we will see you next time. Take care.